Will the Cybertruck come out in 2021? This is a question we're going to be looking at and discussing the manufacturing process because the Cybertruck, as you can see, is quite different from Tesla's lineup of vehicles. In fact, it requires an entirely new process of manufacturing. So starting off, the Cybertruck is actually made from the same stainless steel that the Starship rocket will be made. It's some 300X stainless steel. I don't know if Tesla has decided exactly which alloy they're going to use for the stainless steel, but it's going to be some in the 300X family. So as shown in the demo, this stainless steel Cybertruck is going to be extremely strong. I mean, it could take a sledgehammer to its door and nothing happens to it. That's pretty tough if you ask me. So here's where the Cybertruck differs from the other lineup of Tesla vehicles. All other Tesla vehicles have a different process of manufacturing. They have an underbody, which Elon wants to basically make a cast, a rear cast, a front cast, and a battery pack in the middle, which will be a structural part of the vehicle itself. So when you have the core underbody, or you can call it like a chassis, once you have that, you can basically slap on any sort of body panels you want and make the car look however you want it. Basically, you can just design the car to look in a certain way and just design the underbody to be rigid enough to actually support the vehicle. The Cybertruck is different in that it's an exoskeleton, and exoskeleton actually means something. It's not just a term that Elon just pulled out of his head and it was just like, exoskeleton sounds cool, let's do it. So on Google, the definition of exoskeleton is the external skeleton that supports and protects an animal's body, in contrast to the internal skeleton, endoskeleton. So basically you can think of this as the shell of the car, or whatever you see, is not body panels. They're not stamped body panels that you basically bolt on to the chassis itself. That is the load-bearing shell. That means what you see is literally the structure of the car. That's the underbody. And that's why the car is designed in that way. Because the stainless steel is extremely hard, you can't really stamp it. It will literally break the stamping machines, the most powerful stamping machines we have. And because of that, you have to fold the stainless steel, cut and fold. And I think they're going to use like laser cutting techniques and fold it in a certain way. That's why this basically looks like a very low polygon type of shape and it doesn't have really any curves. If you look at the Cybertruck, it just doesn't have any curves to it. It's just sharp edges for the most part. So because of this new manufacturing technique that Tesla is actually going to be using, the Cybertruck could eventually be delayed and be pushed into 2022. I mean, Elon himself said that because the Cybertruck is brand new, it could be delayed a little bit. It's going to be produced in Austin, Texas, and the factory that they're building there isn't even close to being complete. So saying that it's going to come out at the end of the year, I totally believe it that they could eventually do it, of course. I'm not doubting Tesla at all, but they don't even have a factory up and running yet, so it's kind of hard to estimate a timeline for the Cybertruck when the factory isn't even up and running. Especially because the Cybertruck is going to start using the newer 4680 cells, and those cells are going to be going into the Model Y made in Berlin, and Berlin factory is nearly complete, or at least the structure part is nearly complete. And so Tesla will ship the cells from US all the way to Germany to go in the Model Ys there. But even with Giga Texas, I'm presuming that Tesla will actually start producing the Model Y in the same sense that they're producing the Model Y in Germany, using the newer cells. And those same cells are going to go into the semi-truck and the Cybertruck, so Tesla still has to ramp up their cell production. Plus, they really need to improve their reliability, which it's been a while. It's been nearly half a year since Battery Day, so I'm guessing they have improved reliability quite a bit, but who knows how reliable the cells are right now other than Tesla. So that needs to get going, and then you got the factory itself that needs to be built out, and all the machines and everything has to be fitted in. And most likely, I think they're going to start off by producing the Model Y in the beginning at Giga Texas. They're going to start off with the Model Y and then start producing the Cybertruck eventually, probably setting up the lines for the Cybertruck as well, but not starting production, or at least volume production, anytime soon. I think they want to perfect their manufacturing process first, and then they can really start churning out the Cybertrucks, because the demand for the Cybertruck is insane. I think there's like 1 million reservations for it or something to date. So Tesla basically has a 3-year wait time for the Cybertruck based on their capacity and how they're going to ramp up. Now the good thing here is that the more complicated things in manufacturing, like the paint shop, are not even going to be existing on the Cybertruck. You're basically going to get the Cybertruck in its form that you all see, the stainless steel form. It's literally going to look like that when you get the truck, and then you can decide to wrap it later if you want, and that's partially how they can bring the cost down to the starting price of $39,000 for this truck, which is basically the starting price of a Model 3.
Krebs also says that the Steel Dynamics plant being built in Sinton should also be in production.
Yeah, Michael Gibson has more on these two huge economic drivers that are bringing much needed jobs and tax dollars to the county. Plus, there's a connection to Tesla in all of this.
This is the $1.7 billion Steel Dynamics plant under construction in Sinton. It's supposed to be up and running by the fall of 2021. Not only is it going to provide hundreds of good-paying jobs, but it's also going to supply the steel used in making Tesla's Cybertruck. Right now, Tesla is building a factory in Austin that will produce the Cybertruck.
So the factory that's going to supply the steel to the Cybertruck and the Starship isn't running yet, so that can actually delay when the Cybertruck comes out. So let's do a summary of what delays we can actually expect. Number one will be the factory itself, Giga Texas. Still being built. Whenever that gets done, it'll start churning out Model Ys and then eventually the Cybertruck. Number two, the stainless steel factory from which Tesla will actually buy the stainless steel from. That factory isn't even up and running. They already got the land. I think they even started construction, but that factory is still not up and running just yet. And then number three, it's a completely different design from all their other vehicles, which means it's going to take quite a long time for them to eventually start ramping up production. Because take for example the Model 3, it was a completely different design from the Model S and X because they used a different chassis, different battery, different everything pretty much. And it took Tesla quite a while for them to actually ramp up the Model 3 production. But now with the Model Y, because it's based on the same platform as the Model 3, you already have the platform there and now you just improve on it and you can get the Model Y pretty much 6 months earlier. And this is why there are rumors that the Plaid Model S might come pretty early because it's already based on the Model S chassis, obviously with major updates probably with the structural battery pack and everything. But with the Cybertruck, it's a completely different vehicle. It's a completely different style of manufacturing. There are no stamping machines, you're not going to have a paint shop, so those do in essence help with production, the fact that you don't have extra steps. But considering it's an entirely new process, I think Tesla team has to learn, and I'm pretty sure that the early build Cybertrucks aren't gonna be that good, so maybe you might want to hold off for a 2022 Cybertruck, who knows. But I guarantee you this, Cybertruck is going to be an exceptional vehicle, and I think once you get it, even with all its flaws that it might have, I think you're gonna really love the vehicle. I personally have 3 on pre-order, so just giving you a perspective here. So I personally cannot wait for the Cybertruck. I wish it comes out tomorrow. I'll take it tomorrow. I really want the Cybertruck. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to see how Tesla is actually going to do it. The side mirrors, windshield washers, wipers, basically, you know, all the stuff that is regulatory approval and such. Really excited to see what happens. Really excited to see what 2021 brings to Tesla. Remember, it's a year of the Cybertruck. It's a year of the Tesla Semi. It's a year of the Plaid Model S. It's a year of the new Berlin Model Y with the new paint shop and new cells and everything. It's going to be an exceptional year for Tesla, and I'm just really excited for everything that's going to happen. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and Happy New Year. Let's make this year a good one. Peace.